So, if you're thinking about FedEx, especially FedEx shipping, I want to share with you a few things about the cheapest way to ship FedEx this year. Okay, so here are the considerations I want you to think about. First of all, when you think about the cheapest way to ship FedEx, you got to really think about timing, but also the kind of packages that you are trying to ship. Because one thing for sure, FedEx is one of the most well-known shipping carriers in the United States and even globally. By the way. So this carrier actually is reputable for its fast and time-definite delivery services, backed by an impeccable tracking system. So that's really fantastic. Okay, so you have a pretty strong logistical foundation right off the bat. And the cool thing you're gonna love about FedEx is that when you start thinking about shipping affordably through FedEx, you have a service that actually offers several options for both domestic and international shipping to more than 220 countries. That's really great. I mean, countries and territories across the world. So that's really great in terms of flexibility, but also in terms of convenience. So, being such a reliable courier, it's important that if you are an e commerce merchant or even a brick and mortar merchant, you find the cheapest FedEx rate for both domestic and international shipments. Now, of course, you are actually chasing affordability, but you have to make sure that your customers are really are receiving the products on time, because it's not just about having affordability and then you are giving a crappy customer service to, I mean, a crappy service to your customers. No, they have to be also they have to be satisfied with the service. Okay, so as with any other carrier, finding FedEx's cheapest shipping services depends on a number of factors, such as package weight and size. For instance, you have delivery speed. You have to think about shipping distance, right? And when I speak about shipping distance, you have to think about internationally, but also within the states. For instance, when you think about first mile, middle mile, but also last mile, and you also got to think about the courier service that you choose. Okay, so but if you do some kind of research, if you are able to find forge the right relationship with FedEx, you can actually take advantage of pretty interesting rates, especially in the mid-term to long term. So, what's a strategy you should be thinking about this year? Well, the thing is that when it comes to finding the cheapest way to ship with FedEx, there isn't actually no one cost fits all packages when it comes to that. As you would expect, it boils down to several factors. And let's go a little more granular here. When I speak about factors, I'm speaking about logistical initiatives, things that really have an impact on your operations. So basically, what could actually influence your shipping rate through FedEx this year? Well, the package weight, the speed, the shipping distance, the FedEx flat rate packaging, and this flat rate packaging actually fluctuates, right? You have to think about custom packaging, but also surcharges. So when I speak about package weight, the heavier your package, the more you will pay to have it delivered. I mean, that just makes sense. And you also got to think about speed. So the thing is that FedEx expedited shipping services are more expensive than ground and economy shipping services. Shipping distance, so the further the shipping zone, the more you will pay to have your package delivered. Again, all those things, they make sense, right? They're logical. And now let's talk about the FedEx flat rate packaging. Now the thing is that when shipping heavy packages, they are under 50 pounds and envelopes under 10 pounds, like for longer distances, FedEx One rate packaging may be the cheapest shipping option, especially if you are thinking about scaling. If you want to multiply this type of shipping. Okay. Also, think about custom packaging. So for small, lightweight packages traveling for shorter distances, using your own packaging with FedEx SmartPost may provide actually the cheapest FedEx rate, especially if you want to really like if you are in a specific geography, like in a city or county or township, right? So you control things there in terms of the distance. And also surcharges. So fuels and residential surcharges for remote deliveries will also impact your shipping cost. So handling fees also apply to large or fragile items. In terms of residential surcharges, I'm talking here about, that's what I was telling you earlier about first mile, middle mile, but also last mile. So in rural areas, for instance, you're going to have to pay more to ship through FedEx. I want to talk to you about FedEx cheapest domestic shipping. Okay, the cool thing is that FedEx is pretty reliable when it comes to offering several domestic services that are suitable for shipping different packages within the U.S. And again, within the U.S., I'm talking here about all 48 states, including Alaska and Hawaii. Okay, all 48 continental states. So let me share with you the different FedEx domestic services that you should look for when finding the cheapest way to ship FedEx domestic. So first you have FedEx First Overnight. So here packages are delivered the next business day between 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. to most areas and up to 2 p.m. to remote locations, including rural ones. So optional Saturday delivery and pickup available in select locations. So that's for FedEx First Overnight. Then you have FedEx Priority Overnight. So here delivery takes place the next business day between 10:30 a.m. and noon or up to 4:30 p.m. to residences and rural locations. Optional Saturday delivery and pickup are available in select locations. Next, you have FedEx Standard Overnight. So here, packages are delivered the next business day by 4:30 p.m. and by 8 p.m. to residences. Optional Saturday pickup is available in select locations. So that's kind of cool in terms of flexibility. You also have a FedEx 2-day AM. So delivery takes place the second business day by 10:30 a.m. and by noon to residences and rural areas. Then you have a FedEx 2-day. So here packages are delivered the second business day by 4:30 p.m. to most areas and by 8 p.m. to residences. And then you also have another service, and that's the FedEx Express Saver. Now, Express Saver is kind of cool, especially if you're trying to streamline your FedEx shipping down the road. So here with FedEx Express Saver, delivery takes place the third business day by 4:30 p.m. to most areas and by 8 p.m. to residences. So this is something to really think about, especially in the long run when you are trying to scale your operations. Next, you have a FedEx Ground Home Delivery. So this is actually the best and the cheapest way to ship FedEx when mailing heavy and large packages up to 150 pounds. Remember that the maximum with FedEx is 150 pounds, okay? And that's about 68 kilos. That's in case you're listening to me outside the United States. Okay, 68 kilos. That's the maximum here. And packages are delivered within the 1 to 5 business days, 3 to 7 business days to and from Alaska and Hawaii by the end of the business day. Then you also have FedEx Smart Post. So this is actually the best and cheapest FedEx rate for low weight packages up to 70 pounds to residences. And delivery takes place within 2 to 7 business days based on the shipping distance. You also have FedEx One Rate. So if you don't want to waste time weighing packages to, let's say, calculate your shipping cost, you can find the cheapest FedEx rate via this service using one of the 12 flat rate boxes that FedEx provides. Okay, and you can choose to have your packages delivered between 1, 2, or 3 business days. Now, of course, how fast you want it, you are going to pay for it. So it's just a matter of time versus money. Okay, so this is something you need to think about. One thing I want to say is that when you actually compare and contrast, let's say FedEx Ground to FedEx Express Saver to FedEx 2-day to a FedEx 2-day AM to FedEx Standard Overnight to FedEx Priority Overnight to FedEx First Overnight, the prices keeps going up. In other words, FedEx Ground is the cheapest, really the cheapest that you can really come across if you are considering FedEx, and the most expensive that you could actually come across is FedEx First Overnight. But again, we are speaking about continental USA though, okay? This is an important element to think about. And so one thing I want to say is that you are able to see whether or not for you time is of the essence, or you don't really care whether whether your customer gets the packages today or 2 days from now or 3 days from now. It doesn't matter. Now, if time is of the essence, then you should be able to, or you should be willing rather, you should be willing to pay for the little detail in terms of time convenience here. And this is what FedEx is really charging you for, because it understand it has to do a lot of stuff to make sure the package gets there on time. So, what are the tactics here? When you think about FedEx, the cheapest way to ship FedEx this year, I want to really talk to you a little bit about FedEx cheapest international shipping because I've already spoken to you about domestic shipping, and I want to really switch gears a little bit and go internationally. Okay, so just like domestic shipping, FedEx offers several international shipping services. So, finding the cheapest way to ship FedEx International will depend on the package weight, delivery speed, and shipping distances. So this is something to really think about. And so to make it easier for you, basically here I'm talking about the different FedEx International services and how you can actually find FedEx's cheapest international rate. So you have FedEx International First, you have FedEx International Priority, FedEx One Rate International, FedEx International Economy, FedEx International Ground, and also FedEx International Mail Service. So it really depends on what you're going for. So when I speak about FedEx International First, packages are delivered within 1 to 3 business days to select postal codes in more than 20 key global markets. Then you also have FedEx International Priority. So here, packages are delivered in 1 to 3 business days to more than 220 countries and territories. You also have FedEx One Rate International. So this service is available via the FedEx 10 kilos a box and FedEx 25 kilos box. It's really an easy and economical way to ship internationally. When you ship up to 22 pounds in the FedEx 10K box and up to 56 pounds in the FedEx 25K box. So packages are delivered via FedEx International Priority within 1 to 3 business days. So that's kind of cool, especially when it comes to flexibility. Okay, one thing for sure, you're gonna love it. You also have a FedEx International Economy. So this is one of the cheapest ways to ship FedEx International. So packages are delivered in 2 to 5 business days to more than 215 countries and territories. You also have FedEx International Ground, which is the cheapest way to ship FedEx International, and packages are delivered within 2 to 7 business days. And you also have, and that's the last part, you have FedEx International Mail Service. So this is the best as well as the cheapest FedEx rate when mailing low value, low weight items such as books, catalogs, CDs, brochures, and apparel. And premium delivery takes place in 4 to 7 days, while standard shipping is within 7 to 11 days. So is FedEx cheaper than USPS and UPS? Let's talk about that. I mean, even though we have an entire show focused on that, one thing for sure, usually USPS provides cheaper shipping options than both FedEx and UPS for lightweight packages up to 70 pounds. So for large and heavyweight packages, you may need to consider shipping with either a FedEx or a USPS because those two companies provide excellent shipping options up to 150 pounds, and shipping rates depend on the service you choose. So it's one of those things where you have to see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. We have an entire show that's focusing on that compare and contrast between the three. Okay. So, but one thing for sure, when you actually compare things for like small box, for instance, we'll put this on the screen so you have a clear idea what I'm speaking about. So for the starting rates for UPS 1150, for FedEx 950, and for USPS 765. For a medium box, UPS 1550, FedEx 1235, and USPS 1320. For large boxes, you have for UPS you have $21, FedEx you have $19.05, and USPS you have $18.30. And for extra large box, you have a UPS 25 bucks, FedEx 30 bucks, and USPS hasn't really covered those things. So one thing for sure, when shipping high value items internationally, you need to make sure that your packages are covered with the right insurance policy. And this is kind of cool, so you have a clear idea what's happening. And one thing I want to say is that if you want to avoid unforeseen losses, you may need to consider purchasing an additional policy, okay? But long story short, you can see that FedEx is pretty much competitive when it comes to what the other two are offering in terms of scalability, but also in terms of their ability to get things done a lot faster. So this is an important element to think about, especially in the long run. One thing I want to say before closing on this conversation is that you have to really also ask yourself, what's the replacement value for the products you are carrying? 5,000, 50,000, 100,000. You want to estimate that right off the bat so you know if you're covered properly or not. So the thing is that if you want to actually find the cheapest ways to ship FedEx, sometimes it's better you do it yourself, or you can try a third party. Okay, so you can actually try a third party to kind of help you out, streamline your FedEx shipping. So you can easily find the cheapest FedEx rate for both domestic and international packages through that third party shipping company. And also package weights and size, delivery speed, type of packaging, flat rate versus custom, and shipping distances are actually the top variables that will influence the cost of mailing packages to different destinations. Right? It's one of those things where you have to see what works for you. So to actually find the most affordable shipping solutions with FedEx, you want to actually you want to go to the third party to get the tools you need. And so here you can focus on domestic or international shipping. Okay, so the good thing is that when you have the right tool, you are able to have service comparison. You can compare shipping rates. You can have a you can save money. You can save time. So that's really good in terms of peace of mind, but also in terms of capability. So what about FedEx online or in store, or versus in store? Well, FedEx offers the same rates online or in store. So FedEx online is not cheaper than FedEx in store. And so, what is a good FedEx discount? Well, you can save up to 90% when you ship with FedEx through a third party. So, you can offer your customers a fast delivery, enhanced reliability, and more choice, complete with new discounted rates within your shipping company's platform. That way, you know what works, you know what doesn't work, and you know that this is all about having the right strategy right off the bat. Okay, this is an important element to think about. One thing I want to say is that it's all also about how you structure things, especially if you are going to get things done faster. One thing I want to say is that you are able to understand that when you integrate your FedEx account to your printing partnership, you are able to get things done faster. You can automate most of the shipping process and manage your shipment easily. You can compare shipping rates, so you can compare the different FedEx shipping services rates and transit times. That way, you know who's really who's really adding value, or who's really like falling by the wayside. So it's one of those things where you have to uh, you have to think about things right off the bat, but also most importantly in the long run, and make sure that you are getting the right tool to actually speak with. But one thing for sure, you have to keep going, going, going. So the closing arguments in today's conversation, I spoke to you about the cheapest way to ship FedEx. I gave you the considerations, the strategy, the tactics, and now the closing arguments. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.